بالقرآن اهتديت في رحبه تحلو الحياة شوقا إلى المولى أتيت أسلمت روحي للإله نور الحنايا والطلوع لله أعلنت الرجوع آياته تغدو شموع ويفيض في قلبي سنا.
لم يكن فيصل صديق حمزة يتحدث عن الإسلام أمامه أبداً في فترة عملهم في مانشستر، ولكن عندما انتقل فيصل إلى لندن تغيرت الأحوال تماماً.
And so when I used to visit him, he used to try to teach to me. He used to try to tell me, oh, you know about Islam, this, that. But still, it had no effect on me because I would say to him, are you praying 5 times a day? And he would go, well, no. I said, right. Until you pray 5 times a day, why are you coming to me with this? You don't even do it yourself. And that was my get out of jail free card. So I didn't need to go any further. Yeah? Just once I said that, khalas, stop. That was the end of it.
And I think it was at that point, after 9/11, that there was a lot of media about Islam. You know, Islam was always on telly and everything. So Hamza became quite curious about it. And also maybe the change in myself and my wife from being not so religious to really practicing Islam and praying and going to the mosque and other things maybe had an effect upon him as well.
But it made me start thinking about Islam and what it really is, because I know Muslims and they're not behaving this way, and yet the media is portraying Islam as terrorism and such. And the biggest factor was, again, he was still trying to talk to me about Islam. And this was when I got back to Wales. And I said to him, are you praying 5 times a day? And his response shocked me. He said, yes, we all are. So now I have an obligation to listen to him. So when I started to read, and I read the book by Yusuf al-Qaradawi, Halal and Haram, then I started to realize how practical Islam is and how it applies to the 21st century like nothing else does. So it was after reading that I knew that Islam was a practical, beautiful way to live your life. And even then I adopted most of the practices in my life. You know, I've never been really a racist anyway, to be honest with you. I stopped drinking alcohol because of that. Even before becoming a Muslim, I stopped drinking alcohol. And the amazing thing was, one Christmas, I was working in a pub on Christmas Eve, and I had stopped drinking alcohol. So I was working behind the bar. These people are like animals. I'm not joking, they're animals. And that was one experience. Subhanallah, alhamdulillah, I stopped drinking alcohol.
أصبح حمزة مقتنعاً بالإسلام بل ومدافعاً عنه، حتى أنه في يوم من الأيام كان في بار وسمع من حوله يهاجمون الإسلام، فأخذ حمزة يدافع عن الإسلام.
Islam doesn't teach us. Islam says you kill one human is like killing all of humanity, and all of these teachings can't kill civilians. Even in jihad, even in war, there's conditions of civilians and trees and this and that, and people working in the fields. There's so much conditions. I mean, to fly a plane into a load of civilians, for me, it didn't match this description. And they said, are you a Muslim? And I'm like, no, I'm not Muslim. They said, why aren't you a Muslim? That was my first dawah from a non-Muslim. And I said to myself, why aren't I a Muslim? So I questioned myself, why aren't I a Muslim? If I believe this, then I should be a Muslim.
3 أمور جعلت حمزة يتردد في دخوله إلى الإسلام إلى هذه اللحظة. الأمر الأول القمار. الأمر الثاني صديقته اللي عاش معاها 6 سنوات وله منها طفلين. الأمر الثالث مصدر رزقه، وهو كان يتعامل مع والده بالربا.
My business was finance, riba, yeah? Dealing in interest, loans, mortgages and things like that. And I knew if I became Muslim, I'm going to lose my income. I'm going to lose my job. I'm not going to have it's going to finish. Then after that, I go on to a business call to go and see a finance client about, you know, the car finance. Sorry, about the loan or mortgage it was. And I'm driving my car and it's raining really heavily. And I didn't realize that they'd cordoned off the fast lane. And then I'm like, into these cones scattering everywhere. And I skidded to a stop. And I was sat there in my car, rain pouring on my car, and I'm saying, I could have have died. I could have died right now.
علم حمزة أنه لو مات سيفقد كل متع الدنيا، فلماذا لا يفقدهم الآن لأجل الإسلام؟
And then that's when I realized, you know what? There's no need to wait. I need to become a Muslim.
هنا تذكر حمزة أول آية سمعها: إن الذين كفروا بآياتنا سوف نصليهم نارا كلما نضجت جلودهم بدلناهم جلودا غيرها ليذوقوا العذاب إن الله كان عزيزا حكيما.
It was only later when I was convinced the Quran was the word of Allah that I seen that verse in there that I think, oh, subhanallah. Back then she wasn't just giving me her words, she was giving me Allah's words. Because the main reason I embraced Islam, and this is the main reason, this is the honest reason, I didn't want to burn. Once I became convinced, once I had yaqeen for the nar, for the fire, subhanallah, I want to escape the fire. What do I have to do? What do I have to do? Subhanallah. And that's when I decided to go down to my friends again in London, surprise him. And that was basically it, really. And I was sat with him and I was saying, look, you know, what am I going to do? I believe Islam is the truth, but I'm going to lose my business. I'm going to lose my girlfriend, where I live. What am I going to do?
At the same time, I said, listen, don't worry about anything, yeah? My brother's a solicitor, he's got an office there, we can find you a job, it's no problem. And because I've known him so long, it was no problem for him to stay with me and give him the support. And not only support from myself, the big Muslim community that is here in London as well.
And that alleviated everything. That removed all of the cloud that was covering it.
So I told him what it would entail, what would happen. So he came to my house, my wife was with me at the time, and he took the Shahada at my house.
After I took my Shahada, I said to him, now what?
نعم.
And he said, begin your journey. That's it. I said, what do I do now? He goes, well, that's it, you're Muslim, now I need to go learn. And that's when I started to eat books and read and study and research and go to circles and discover. Do you get me?
نعم.
Alhamdulillah.
لما اشتكى جوف الظما لما بكى جفني دما والدرب خاف جهنما لجأت للقرآن.
حرص حمزة على أن يكسب رزقه من الحلال بعد إسلامه، ولا يرضى أن يكسب ولو باند واحد من الحرام.
So then I knew that I was going to be a Muslim. I actually took my Shahada and I went back and said to my father, look, I can't do this business no more. I can't do it. He goes, what? I said, I can't do it. I goes, we've got deals going through that when we get paid for them, they will cover all the expenses we have. So right now, but the business has to finish because I can't do it no more. My father said to me, can't you do it for just 6 more weeks? I said, I can't do it for 1 more minute. I'm done.
الله.
And then he says, right, get out. Subhanallah. The brother Ibrahim, who was my Amir here at the mosque, he said to me, look, put your stall here. We'll have it like a shop. Come to the masjid, work in the mornings here in the masjid, answering the phone, seeing any inquiries, and at the same time do your shop. And then on Jummah, alhamdulillah, you can make a little bit. Because like I say, you don't need to make thousands and thousands, just to eat, alhamdulillah.
اهتم حمزة بالعمل الدعوي بشكل كبير، فهو في كل أيام العطل ينزل للسوق للتعريف بالإسلام.
Alhamdulillah, in the marketplace, maybe 120 shahada.
ما شاء الله.
Maybe 120 shahada.
ما شاء الله. ما
Just
شاء الله.
people.
ما شاء الله.
Yeah. Now these people are just shopping. What I'll say to my brothers and sisters in humanity, don't believe the hype. Islam is not what you're told Islam is. You need to discover it for yourself. You need to read the Quran for yourself. You need to question who is the author of this Quran. And once you accept that this could not have been authored by a man in the 7th century, then you need to find out who did. Well, my wish basically is to have a shop that is exactly this, but at the same time with books and with things so people can learn about Islam, non-Muslim can come in and learn about Islam. And at the same time, you see, it's not just supporting non-Muslims, it's Muslims, yeah? For example, we have mosques, we have madrasas, they need, abayas, they need kamisas, they need this, they need that. And at the same time, they need to learn about their religion. So they need access to this kind of thing as well. So for me, alhamdulillah, my wish would be to have a shop that could provide this service to the non-Muslims and to the Muslims.
فيشرق صبحه الحاني أرتله وأحفظه وأقرأه بإمعاني أسير بدرب قرآني
ربيعي أنس أيامي صديقي بوح أحلامي شفاء الهم والشقوى يداوي جرحي الدامي ربيعي أنس أيامي صديقي بوح أحلامي شفاء الهم والشقوى يداوي جرحي الدامي ولما تهت ثم أتيت لدرب كلام رب البيت وجدت النور والسلوى مع القرآن اهتديت مع القرآن اهتديت
فيشرق صبحه الحاني أرتله وأحفظه